Oh, right. Yeah, I thought we'd do a Jesse. Jesse's always good for a laugh. I've also seen one. I don't know whether I did it on the old channel because it's not on my channel now. Um, Nasty Natasha. I remember her. I remember her from the thumbnail. I think I'll do that one after this, but it's one of the old Jesse things. But it's a bit like I want to do the one we did of the Michael. What's his name? The one where I was like, I think he's a troll. And then he is. People said he comes back as a woman on the next one. But yeah. Yeah, anyway, this is part 22. I've gone back to 22, so I don't think we've done 22. So like once it gets into the teens, we've done them. But yeah, anyway, let's see. Let's go.
Michael, go ahead.
Okay, and to make a long story short, they did a very deep investigation on pretty much from his childhood to now. And the trial was about was he and they say that he wasn't smart enough or he didn't know that he did something. And the man said, but I didn't know. And then
Michael,
over 300 million people.
Hey,
and
Michael,
sir, wait, now I'll let you.
No, I got to run. I just don't know what you're talking about. I know you mean well, but I'm just not getting what you're talking about. And it made me want to drink. Amazing.
The giveaway there is when anyone ever says to make a long story short, then just strap in for a long story. That's what people say before they're about to tell you a long story. The only person I've ever seen not say that is Method Man from Wu-Tang. In one of his things, he's like to make a long story longer. That's what people should actually say instead of make a long story short, is make a long story longer.
Tim is out of Louisiana. Tim, I appreciate you, and we all appreciate you greatly around here. You've been a great help to us.
Hey, man, it's an honor to help you guys out. Hey, I wanted to answer your biblical question of the week.
If you never read the Bible, would you know right from wrong? And you say?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes. You would know right from wrong.
And how do you know that?
Because it's the same way I know to wake up and to go to sleep and to eat and to poop and pee and all that other stuff.
You're still pooping?
Of course. I'm still eating, so I gotta poop. You know.
But you're absolutely right, man. The same way you know that, you know right from wrong.
Yeah, it's an instinct. I mean, people call it instinct, but it's what's already inside of us.
That's right. So
it's true because kids know. When you're younger, you know right from wrong because you know not what to not tell your parents. That shows that you instinctively know, like, right from wrong. Obviously, there's people where they don't, but yeah.
When you say he shouldn't say that about a woman on TV, what's wrong with speaking the truth about women?
Well, she's not a dog, though.
No, but answer that question, though. And I hear that a lot. You can't say that about women. Why can't you say women are wrong when they're wrong?
Well, women are wrong, and I'm not lying, but she's not a dog. That's wrong.
Would you trust her?
Huh?
If you feed her and then she turn on you, isn't that a dog-like thing?
No, that's not a dog. That's just a person that just, being a dick on somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a dog.
That's not a dog. A dog is
I gotta ask you one quick question. Who let the dogs out?
You're wrong with that one.
That's wrong. I disagree with Jesse with that. Dogs is the most loyal thing. Again, there's some exceptions when they've been mistreated or whatever, but yeah, no, cats is the more feed me and go away type of animal.
Yeah, back in a moment. Let me go to Greg, a first-time caller out of New Jersey. Greg, thank you.
Got me.
Greg, thank you for calling. You're on the air, sir.
Yes, hello.
How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing all right.
Happy Men's History Month.
First thing I want to tell you is
Happy Men's History Month.
I have no hate. I'm 70 years old.
How were you able to avoid anger in your life? You never had anger?
No, I don't get angry. That only defeats me as a person.
Right.
If I use that within myself, I defeat my whole purpose in life.
Have you ever had anger? Great. Great. Have you ever had anger?
No, I never really had anger. I get over it.
So
I don't keep anger. I don't hold on to anger.
But you-
Anger only
Greg.
defeats my whole purpose of success in life.
Great. Have you ever had anger?
No, I haven't.
You've never had anger. You've never gotten angry your whole entire 70 years of life.
In my whole entire life, I haven't never got angry.
You lying.
Because I don't hold on to anger.
No, the fact that you're talking about you don't hold on to it means that you do have it, man.
Irregardless, I don't let it
No
defeat
such
me.
word as irregardless, man. You're not supposed to have it at all.
Well, hey, I'm only human. Everybody's human. The devil is. You can't get away from the devil.
Yes, you
There's
can.
good
That's not
and
true.
there's bad, and you're one of the baddest people I ever seen. The way
Thank you.
you talk.
What do I say that's not true?
You say the CNN, ABC, MSNBC is spreading lies.
Yes.
The whole system is full of lies, and you're one of the biggest liars.
I was listening to a podcast. It's not a political podcast, but they said MSNBC. It's come out, I guess, recently. It was a recent podcast that it was kind of, they just said it, but it's come out that it was a tool of the Democrat Party, like I guess a paid thing from the Democrat Party.
In the world.
And what I lie about? What have I lied about?
You lied about being for your people. You're only black on the outside and not in the inside.
Right.
You say you're a human being with the propaganda. You act like you don't spread no propaganda. The only one spreading propaganda is the other side.
What
but
have I
you
lied?
spreading it on your side. You like
Greg.
because you got the bully pit like the president. You want to run your game down like your whole station, really.
Greg, what have I lied about? Tell me one thing I've said.
You lie about everything. I can't.
Tell me one
pinpoint that.
thing.
It would take me a show to even go through all the propaganda you run down.
Right, so just give me one thing that I've lied about. One thing only. Out of all the propaganda, as you say, give me one thing that I've lied about. Only one.
That black people are doing so well under this president. Of course, we got jobs, and we never get paid the amount of money that white people get paid.
Black women make more money than white women that are working. Did you know that?
Did I know what?
Black women make more money than white women in the marketplace.
You got to go by statistics, with
I just gave you one.
The majority of the people. Most black women don't make half the money that
No,
white
that's not
women
true.
make.
That's not true.
Well, you could try to convince me. I'm not convinced.
I'm not trying
now,
to
we can go on with the conversation.
I'm not
I
trying
just
to
told
convince
one
you.
lie. I told you one lie. That's my opinion.
Hey, control your anger.
Y'all are the right-wing propaganda machine. They only got you on the show because you Tom like a mug.
Amazing.
Play
So
this
you,
game
so
because
listen.
you're supposed to be a minister and you're supposed
So
to be a
listen to-
counselor.
Tom.
And you know what?
Tom.
That fella
Tom.
you got on there
Tom.
who ain't got nothing to do. You want to
Hey,
spread
Tom.
things
I mean,
about...
Greg. Greg.
yeah, go ahead.
Greg, calm down.
All right, go ahead. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, you sound like your mama.
You are one Uncle Tom. You take us back 100 years. We still fighting for civil rights. I grew up with the marches,
Well,
Martin Luther King.
listen,
what you call it?
if
You
you
could
have-
never represent black people.
If you haven't gotten civil rights at the age of 70, you should give it up. You're not going to get it. Once I was 70 years old, my mama told me, boy, you better get
You
yourself...
can't sing.
Yes, I can. You're just
No,
jealous.
you can't.
You're
You
jealous.
Can't. I was a Christian at one time, and then my father became a black Muslim.
And so now you're
And
Muslim?
I still believe in Elijah Muhammad and some of his sayings.
Are you a Muslim?
And Minister Farrakhan.
No wonder
and I
you-
like
no wonder
Al
you
Sharpton.
No wonder
Go
you're
ahead.
confused.
What? No wonder. You can talk all the games you want. I listen to your show. And that's confusing right there. That's more than enough. I listen to Fox.
How does it feel to be just like your mama?
How does it feel to be like my father was the real
No,
angry
that's not the
person?
question, though. How does it feel for you to be just like your mama?
I ain't like my mama.
Yes, you are.
All right, stop trying to sing because you're a clown. So why you want to act like a clown on radio? Everybody sees you that are about the truth for what you are.
Hey,
it's only because that radio station loves what you said.
Great.
Not,
so you follow Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, and Muhammad that's up in a spaceship, and Louis Farrakhan went and talked to him, and you're the same person? You think you have a sound mind?
I know I got a sound mind. I'm doing all right. So are my kids. We don't go to jail.
Great. Do you drink?
Do I drink?
Yes.
So I drink at times.
Have you been drinking today?
I ain't drunk now. I ain't drinking now.
Have you been drinking today?
Nah, not really. No, I haven't had a drink.
Not really. But how did you find my show?
What?
How did you find my show?
I listen to you every day.
Did you know that the only way...
I have to say, as one, I would listen to a show that's just them two having a conversation. I'd tune into that every day for an hour. I don't think I could do no more. But I have to say that even though people are like, Jesse can always make them kind of be reasonable. Like, it's so weird, the dynamic that he has with his listeners. Like, whether you agree with what that guy was saying or not, the best point he made was, I listen to your show. Like, he's willing to listen to something even if he doesn't agree with it, whatever. Like, it's... So even though they're, like, furious with Jesse and his opinions, that they still listen. Which, like I say, that's the best thing I heard that guy say, was that is what the world should do more. Like, listening to something doesn't mean you agree with what the person's saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
Abortion became a law in the United States of America was because the U.S. Supreme Court brought it in, not because the people voted for it. Were you aware of that? That's some amazing stuff. Fox News, Senate Democrats protest hijack Brett Kavanaugh hearings for Supreme Court. And this is the opening of the hearing yesterday. And there's this black, liberal, godless, evil Democrat. This woman is as bad or maybe even worse. And I don't know if you can get any worse, but let's say the evil get worse with each generation. And it does if you don't deal with it. This woman is as bad as the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters with the low IQ. She is as bad and worse as the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, and his wife, Big Mama Michelle, the woman that was hooch your mama dancing all through the 8 years of the White House. Hooch your mama. You can take the woman out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the woman. So I want you to pay attention to Kamala Harris. This is from Fox News. Watch how this evil woman right away. And then I want you to know, too, these are the type of black women who are raising boys and girls, who are joining gangs, who are having babies out of wedlock, who are drug addicts, who are committing crimes, who are hating white Americans. They are coming out of these types of homes. Fox News, Senator Chuck Grassley opened the hearing, and Kamala Harris, a Democrat from California, interrupts.
Good morning. I welcome everyone to this confirmation hearing on the nomination of
Mr. Chairman.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman.
To serve as Associate Justice.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized for a question before we proceed.
Regular order, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized to ask a question before we proceed. The committee received just last night.
This is how these black women act, these children of the lie. This is a queen, by the way. This is a queen from hell, from the gates of hell. I went to Israel once, It was fascinating. We went to the gates of hell. I thought of Camilla Harris. It was like a dark pit in this old city. And it's like, you look down in there, just pure darkness. And they say that's the gates of hell. That's where the gates of hell was at one point. Camilla lives there.
That was quite interesting to see Kamala Harris. She done well for herself from, whatever she was to, running for the president. All right, she didn't get it, but still. That was interesting to see where she was, before she was who she was. Like,
Hi, I'm Stevie Bobby, and you guys have been begging me to tell you how lesbians have sex, so today I'm gonna teach you how to fuck.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Today I'm talking with a very popular YouTuber. Her name is Stevie Bobby, creator and host of the first ever lesbian sex ed video series. That's a very interesting job. Stevie Bobby, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you being here. And so, are you a lesbian?
I am a lesbian.
You are a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you become a lesbian?
I think it's not something you become, it's something you realize. So I guess I've always been one.
What made you realize I'm a lesbian?
Okay, so I fell in love with a girl.
At what age?
I was 19, and it was in my philosophy class in college, and I thought she was a boy. And then she told me she was a girl, and I already had a crush on her, and I was like, but I'm not a lesbian. But then it just really messed with me. And then she was a lesbian, and then I was like, I hate my own vagina. I'm not gonna like somebody else's vagina. And then I tasted pussy and came out the next day.
Amazing.
Lots of marginalized groups are discriminated against and oppressed all over the world, right? But as far as being queer is concerned, it's not really a genetic thing. Like you're not born to gay parents and then you're gay and then you can talk to your auntie about it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a really isolating group to be in. So there's a lot of fear of coming out. Will they accept me? I'm different. So the fact that I am out and am living a life that is true to myself, I think that a lot of young people need to see examples of that. You guys kept commenting that I had my front door open last time I was making a video, which didn't seem weird to me, but now my family's here listening to this being filmed, so today we're going to talk about strap-ons, specifically how to choose a dildo, how to put on a strap-on harness, and how to and get by strap-on.
That's amazing. What does it feel like to be a lesbian?
What does it feel like?
Yeah, what is that? What exactly?
How do
you know that you're a lesbian?
Because I love and am attracted to women.
Sexually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if it wasn't for the sex thing, you wouldn't be a lesbian?
That's not true, because there's lots of different orientations, right? So there's romantic orientation, there's sexual orientation. I can have crushes on guys, but I'm not attracted to them, so I can't.
You're not,
I'm not
sexually
drawn.
attracted.
It's sexual, but also just in any way. I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe it is sexual attraction. If I look at a guy, I'm not you know?
Yeah. But if you look at a woman, you're like,
Sometimes, yeah.
And so if that desire for sex didn't come up, then you wouldn't be a lesbian.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, because you can be asexual and still be a lesbian. You can also still have sex with people you're not attracted to, and if you couldn't, then there'd be way fewer babies in the world. So, I don't know. I think that it's a really intricate process, and I think that every lesbian is going to have a different answer to why they feel like a lesbian.
So you say you're also a feminist.
it is it's great, yeah, be your true self and all that is great, but she ain't that smart in what she's saying. She basically said nothing like being a lesbian something you realise, but it's not something you become. one, you can argue it's the same thing, really, but anyway. But yeah, I remember. Yeah. Anyway.
Lesbian.
I guess.
Why pile on?
What?
Why pile on? It's enough problem being a lesbian. Why would you want to be a feminist too?
I don't really see like a fear of having identities as a problem.
Do you have perfect peace or do you have conflict within?
I don't know. I think that I'm in so much therapy, so we'll see.
Why not just forgive the problem?
This is exactly what I was thinking. Because she was saying I should be, that it's a message that young people should be talking to. I'm listening to her and I'm thinking you're not smart. Like, you're not someone who, the fact that she's got a massive following is mind blowing. But yeah, then she turns around and says, I'm in loads of therapy. It's like, you could tell that by what she's saying. I mean, no offense, she seems nice enough. And like I say, it's great. Be what you want to be. All power to you. But at the same time, when you're saying that you should be an educator in something, it's like, oh yeah.
To be over with it. Because if
oh
you
man, if it was
them,
that easy.
It is that easy.
No, it's not.
It's hard to forgive?
No. I've definitely forgiven. Then it's not that doesn't mean that everything's fixed just because you forgive people.
Why did you forgive them?
Because I don't know, I guess for selfish reasons.
What was that?
Because if I'm holding on to anger and resentment, that is so toxic to me. So why am I holding on to that? That's so silly. They're not gaining or losing anything for me being angry at them.
But if you have truly forgiven, you wouldn't have the conflict anymore.
No, I know. What? That's not how it works.
Yeah, for real.
You think that if a rape survivor forgives the rapist, she will no longer have PTSD?
100%.
That really?
Yeah, 100%. Without a doubt, and it would be as though it never happened to you.
That's not how mental health works, though.
Because mental health is mental.
Yeah.
You can't pay attention to mental health.
Yeah, but once you develop a trauma or a like mental health disorder, your entire brain chemistry and like physically changes. Your brain physically changes.
And
so you can't just say out loud, "I forgive you," and then your brain magically goes back to how it was before.
The reason for that is because when you're traumatized, like what I've read you've gone through, and we'll get to some of that in a minute, the fact that you were angry at the people who traumatized you, it separated you from the source of life. And so being separated, it brings on other mental problems, emotional problems, and things like that.
I kind of like my anger, though.
Oh, you do?
I'm in so much therapy. Yeah, it's like a driving force in my life. That's why I make sex ed videos, is because I feel like I don't know why no one is doing it. I'm just so mad that queer girls are being robbed of information when they deserve it. Because we think that straight kids deserve it, why don't we think that queer girls do?
If you knew that forgiveness was the key, true forgiveness, would you do it so that you could be free?
Sure.
And then you wouldn't need therapy anymore. You could use that money for something else.
I think that is a dangerous claim because it's not true.
No.
Because it's not that easy.
It is true. I mean, I've been helping
people.
Yeah,
you can believe that, but...
No. It's not just a belief, it's reality. When you truly forgive, have you ever done something that you wish you had not done it to offend someone or traumatize someone, and you say, wow, I can't believe I did that. I don't want to do that. And you end up doing it again?
I rarely regret my decision. I'm in so much therapy.
You have done that?
I guess.
I
don't really feel regret because it's just, life is a series of obstacles to overcome, and you can try different tactics to overcome those obstacles and then see which ones work and which ones don't. And there's no sense in dwelling on something you did wrong. You can just change it in the future.
If you are a person that has an STI, you don't have to stop having sex, but you do have to be honest with your partners. And even if you don't have an STI, you need to protect yourself and respect yourself.
Protect just my vagina, or do I need it for butt stuff too?
Butt stuff too. But before you leave me to go test out 100 sex positions with your new lesbian sex partner, first, let's talk about foreplay.
And so I understand the feeling that you have for the same sex for sexual stuff. I understand that. But when you're doing it, or when you stand back and look at it, seeing two women or two men attracted to each other sexually, is there any part of you that says, you know what? I know I'm doing this, but it's not quite right. It's something wrong with this.
No.
You know, it's not, it doesn't make sense that women of the same sex or men of the same sex will have sex.
Yeah, this is my point. You're going on there and teaching people and giving young gay people information, but you're not happy. You're telling him to go and do all these things that you're doing, but these things that you're doing have not led to you being happy or sane. Like you said, you're in loads of therapy, you're angry. But yet then you're going on and being some life coach when you don't have any answers because you're lost yourself. Like there are actual lesbians, gays, transgenders that actually could be good influences on people that are young people that are going to go into that life, that are going to tell people the truth. You're sitting there saying, yeah, do this and all of this, go and do 100 sex positions with your lesbian partner, and it's like, but has that made you happy? It clearly hasn't. So what is the goal? It hasn't, like, it's clearly not improving you, because as they keep putting up, I'm in so much therapy.
Something ever kicks in to say, you know what, maybe it's not what I think.
No. That's amazing.
What's your impression of men?
Depends on the man. I mean, I don't know. Men is just such a large group of people that, I don't know.
So what is your impression of man?
Of which one?
The ones you know. How do you see men?
I don't know. In a sexual way?
What is a man?
What is a man? Man is an identity that someone can identify as.
Man is an identity that someone can identify as? What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know how to define man other than that, really.
Did you know before now that you really didn't know what a man was? What is a woman?
Same thing.
What?
Woman is an identity you can identify as.
So did you know before today you didn't know what a woman was either?
I guess I didn't.
So did you know that prior to now that you did not know what a woman was?
Oh, God. I don't know, because it's difficult because you want to be inclusive of trans people and non-binary people. So I can't just be like, being a woman is these primary sex characteristics or secondary sex characteristics or your chromosomes or whatever. I think it's a mix of all of those things, and it's also a mix of who you feel or what you feel like you are.
That's just the other thing as well, where I think she's lying to herself. She thinks that she's some LGBTQ life coach person, when really all you're selling is sex. Like, you're literally a hot woman sitting there talking about lesing off with probably another hot woman. Like, she probably got mainly men watching her, to be honest, but I don't know, with all the garbage coming out of her mouth. That would put you off, I think. It put me off.
For you to say what a woman is because you don't want to offend the people who are confused about their sexual identity?
It's not that I don't want to offend them, it's that I want to include them because they are a part, they're a part of the conversation about, did you just say trans people are messed up?
Yeah, they're like abnormal. You know, like they've been traumatized. Why would you not identify what a real woman is because people who are confused about who they are might be offended, when you might be able to help them by really identifying what a woman is and what a man is, and they may think about it and overcome their traumas.
Did you just say real woman?
Right.
So you think that there are women that aren't real women?
Yes.
Okay, like what?
A lesbian.
A lesbian's not a
or
real
transgender.
woman?
Do you think men who take off the body parts and put on women body parts, you know, like breasts and all that, and put on dresses, are they women or are they still, are they women or are they still men?
Sorry, ask the question again?
You know how there are transgenders?
Uh-huh.
Let me do this. transgenders now, and they're confused about their identity. So you heard of Bruce Jenner, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know Bruce is a man. Well, he took off the body part. Where you going?
I'm leaving.
Why are you leaving?
Because.
Also, by our own definition of what she was saying in that, what she said and what Jesse said is the same thing. He asked her, what is a woman? And is someone identifies as a woman? Well, you're someone obviously that identifies as a lesbian. A transgender is someone who identifies like. So actually, a lesbian isn't a woman. They're a lesbian because they identify as a lesbian. Because a woman is someone that identifies as a woman who says, I'm a woman. But you're a lesbian. So Jesse's, yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing as well, is God bless this girl. And she's definitely got issues. But yeah, she's not the smartest. And I almost feel like Jesse got a bit sick of talking to her and was like, right, here we go. I'm going to pedal to the metal. Let's see how quick we can get her off.
Because what you're saying is extremely offensive, and I'm not going to sit here for it.
Come and tell me why.
Nope.
You're running?
Isn't it not inclusive? I mean, technically, again, he's included them in the conversation. But you said you didn't want to say what a woman was because you didn't want to offend. Now you're saying, and not even that you don't want to offend, it's just that you want to include. But then Jesse's being offensive. This is what I mean. She's not that smart. God bless her.
Yep.
But I thought you were open-minded. You're not open-minded?
Nope, what you're saying is hurtful and very dangerous.
But true.
Now, baby, please don't go.
Are you leaving?
Yep.
I thought you were a strong woman.
And to the woke people, like, this thing is fascism right here. You say something I don't like, I'll walk off. I literally watched Johnny Rotten say punk has become fascist back in the, I don't know, 1980 or whatever, saying that punk has become fascist and he's done with punk. It's like, because when one art form is superior over all the other art forms, that's fascism. And I don't like fascism. And yeah, the same thing works with ideology. When you want an ideology to reign over every other ideology, that's fascism. Whether it's right wing or left wing, it's fascism. When you think what you say is how you feel is how everybody else should, that's fascism.
Now, baby, please don't go.
If you think not standing for someone preaching hate is weak, then go for it.
Yeah, that's weakness.
Baby, please don't go.
Let's take a picture together before we go.
Nope.
Let's shake hands. Well, she left.
She gone.
That was Stevie Bobby. She just got up and walked out. I'm stunned. Because when I watch her video, she seemed to be so carefree and she allows other people to disagree.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She was carefree about one thing: sex. That's her idea of being crazy free. It's in one avenue of her life, because in everything else she's extremely close-minded.
Impression that I have. I wonder what her YouTubers would think now.
Don't forget, preaching abstinence is just a shitty way of trying to talk kids into never having any fun. None of it is bad. Go have fun. Blood stuff is dope. None of it is bad. Make decisions based on what you want, what feels good to you. I'll be making these videos in the future where I go in depth into each of these topics. None of it is bad. See you guys next time. Bye.
The young lady called in and she told me that women don't believe that they sin. And so my biblical question this week is, do women believe that they sin? I really want to know. It's a very, very mamma mia, hola, sí, señor, sí, Question. Lots of protests going on, and things are in a mess. Bad situation right now. I have a guest coming up for you in a minute. I don't know the name of the guest yet, so I'm waiting for James. You been smoking, James? Okay. James, you been smoking? So Thomas spoke of a interview that I did with a guy by the name of Juan Rojas. And what Juan does, his organization, they help illegal aliens cross into the U.S. illegally. And they claim they just give them water, but they're really helping them across. They call themselves the border angels. And they're angels sent by Satan. And they just feel good that they know the Bible. Oh, I know the Bible. And nothing changed. Their lives are still screwed up. Their family lives are screwed up. Nothing has changed. Isn't that amazing? But they know the scriptures. Relationships are bad. They're angry, depressed, suicidal thoughts, on medication, anxious, overreactionary. But they know the Bible. They accepted Jesus, and they don't question it at all. So I ask these questions that you might know thyself. And so, but James had to do my computer because it went whack. Right, James? President Trump is at a NATO summit, and they were having breakfast, and he read the riot act to the folks over there. Like, we're not going to keep paying for you, and you're over there giving Russia all of your business, and while we are paying and taking care of you, it is over. He didn't say this part, but Obama is no longer with us. He's not president anymore. Bill Clinton is not president. George Bush is not president. Daddy is home. Here's the soundbite of the president at the summit during the breakfast this morning, at least their time this morning. Here's the soundbite.
It's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries. And then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. We're going to have to do something because we're not going to put up with it. We can't put up with it, and it's inappropriate.
Amazing. These people sitting there looking like they've been yelled at for being bad children. Like, Daddy is home. Your mother told me that you've been acting out. You've been wasting money. You've been mishandling everything. It's not going to happen again. Those other presidents, like the fallen Messiah, Obama, and Bush, and Clinton, and whomever else, they were weak. Dad is home. You people have been acting out. You're wasting my money. It's not going to happen anymore. They're sitting there looking like, why are you yelling at us? Making America great again. Out of all the propaganda, I'm an Oreo cookie.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Watching that Stevie Bobby though. Yeah, I remember her. Yeah. I wonder what she's doing with herself nowadays. And that's the thing, it's like, on one hand, she does seem very nice. I'm sure she's very easy to get along with, but yeah. But I do think Jesse was sick of talking to her as well, because he just went from being nice Jesse to definitely saying things you know is gonna provoke her. I think he was just bored. When he said he's stunned, I think he was stunned it was that quick. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.